At dawn on July 7, 2015, in Vietnam, a luxurious villa suddenly became the scene of one of the most shocking crimes in the country at that time. 6 members of the same family were brutally murdered. The perpetrator was none other than someone once familiar to the household, someone who used to enter and leave like family, Nguyen Hai Duong. This crime not only outraged the public, but also became one of the most sensational criminal cases of the decade in Vietnam. Nguyen Hai Duong, born in 1991 in An Giang Province. After graduating from high school in 2010, Duong left his hometown and moved to Hoc Mon District, Ho Chi Minh City, to study a trade at Binh Duong Vocational College of Industry. However, just a year later, he dropped out and worked at a wood processing factory to make a living. Fate began to change in October 2013. Through the social network Zalo, Duong met Liti An Lin, a girl born in 1993 in Binh Phuoc Province. The two quickly developed feelings and became lovers. In April 2014, Lin introduced Duong to her family in Minh Hung Commune, Chon Thanh District, Binh Phuoc Province. Lin's family was wealthy, owning a timber business and living in a spacious villa. At that time, their relationship was accepted by the family. Duong often visited the house and became as familiar as a family member. However, by 2015, everything had changed. Lin's mother strongly opposed the relationship. Lin obeyed her mother, gradually distanced herself, and eventually broke up with Duong to be with someone else. From love, Duong turned to hatred. In his heart, the sweet love of the past twisted into deep resentment, especially toward Lin's mother and her entire family. That hatred eventually turned into a deranged plan to kill his ex-girlfriend's entire family, both for revenge and for robbery. To prepare for his horrifying scheme, Nguyen Hai Duong not only nurtured deep hatred in his heart, but also carefully planned each step. He armed himself with an array of tools: a pellet gun, a stun gun, switchblades, tie knives, gloves, zip ties, nunchucks, and even pepper spray. All of these were hidden at a relative's rented house in Hoc Mon, waiting for the right moment to strike. Although he had already broken up with Lê Thị An Lin, Duong maintained a relationship with Lin's cousin, Du Minh Vai. He saw Vai as a crucial link in his plan. To cover his tracks, Duong even purchased a disposable SIM card used solely for this operation. On July 3, 2015, Duong rode his motorbike to Lin's house. There he met Vai, as prearranged. He gave him money, persuaded him, and explained how to unlock the villa's door without Lin's parents noticing. Vai agreed, unaware that he was being used to open the very door that would lead to a tragedy. The following night, Duong convinced Tran Dinh Thuy to join him. The two plotted in detail, prepared their weapons, and set the time to act. But when they arrived at the villa, Minh V never came to open the door. The plan failed, forcing them to retreat, with intentions to try again the next night. On the way back, Thuy suggested buying additional tie knives. Duong quickly agreed. By the evening of July 5th, Thuy delivered the knives to Duong, but then backed out, citing his grandmother's illness as an excuse. Refusing to give up, Duong immediately sought another accomplice. On July 6th, he recruited Vu Van Tien, lying that their mission was merely to collect a debt from Lin's family, and promised him a large payout. Tien agreed, unaware that he was stepping into a bloodthirsty scheme. Eventually, Duong revealed the full truth: the weapons, the methods, and the plan to kill each member of the family. At 1 a.m. on July 7th, 2015, the fatal hour arrived. Duong and Tien silently approached the villa. When Minh V opened the door, the two attackers rushed in, choking and gagging the boy until he passed out. Duong, cold-blooded, drew his knife and stabbed repeatedly, ending Vai's life. They then climbed the wall and broke into the house. Lin, her parents, and her two younger siblings were tied up. Only baby Gia Lin, just 22 months old, was spared. Duong ransacked the house, forcing the family to reveal where money was kept. He opened the safe, but it was empty. With no fortune to be found, the two unleashed their brutality. Tien strangled each victim, while Duong used both a switchblade and a tie knife, stabbing through hearts, slashing across throats. One by one, 5 lives were extinguished. Only baby Gia Lin survived, as Duong chose to lull her back to sleep instead of killing her. With blood staining the villa floors, the killers took only mobile phones and iPads, worth about 50 million Vietnamese dong, roughly $2,000. Larger assets, an Audi, a Toyota, and trucks in the garage, were left untouched. The massacre was done. Tien fled back to Hoc Mon Duong, however, stayed in Chon Thanh, returning to the crime scene multiple times, pretending to mourn, crying crocodile tears, playing the role of a grieving friend to deflect suspicion. A cold-blooded killer, hiding his monstrous crime behind nothing more than fake, red-rimmed eyes. A familiar worker arrived at the mansion to begin his daily routine. But instead of peace, he was horrified to discover 6 lifeless bodies. Only a 22-month-old girl, Gia Lin, miraculously survived with minor injuries. The shocking news was immediately reported to the local police. Soon after, Binh Phuoc Police and Procuracy mobilized forces, sealing off the scene, conducting examinations, and collecting every trace of evidence. Just 3 days later, on July 10th, fingerprints, bloodstains, and a chain of clues all pointed to one familiar name, Nguyen Hai Duong. A warrant was issued immediately, and Duong was tracked down and captured. At first, he acted defiant, silent, fabricating alibis. But confronted with irrefutable evidence, Duong broke down and confessed. He revealed his accomplice, Vu Van Tien. That same day, police operatives ambushed and arrested Tien in Hoc Mon. The case seemed closed, but then mysterious messages on a victim's phone led to another name, Tran Jin Thoai. On August 10th, another manhunt was launched. Thoai was captured. Investigators reenacted the crime scene, reconstructing the entire massacre. And finally, a shocking indictment was announced. Nguyen Hai Duong, Vu Van Tien, Tran Jin Thoai were charged with murder and robbery. In December 2015, the People's Court of Binh Phuoc Province opened the first instance trial. Nguyen Hai Duong, the mastermind, was sentenced to death for 3 charges: murder, robbery, and unlawful detention. Vu Van Tien, the direct accomplice, was also sentenced to death. Tran Jin Thoai, who took part in the preparation but later withdrew, was sentenced to 16 years in prison. Later in prison, Duong repeatedly told the officers that he often saw hallucinations of Le Tian Lin, his ex-lover, haunting him in restless dreams. Unable to endure it, he filed a petition requesting early execution of his death sentence, hoping to end everything, but not accepted. The Nguyen Hai Duong case, the Binh Phuoc Massacre, will forever remain a painful scar in the history of Vietnamese crime. It not only reveals the ultimate cruelty of hatred and greed, but also serves as a warning about tragedies born from blind emotion.